Good evening, folks, and welcome. Even though there's no point to welcome anyone, because we only have 6 people here. Hope you're all keeping well anyway. Regardless, where is my Discord? I'll open her up here. There it is. To add SRG Energy Dan to the game. Do it through this fucking thing. Invite to game. Hopefully he can. There we go. Now then, you should have gotten a cheeky little invite, mate. Oh my god, why can't I look at my login on this film thing? Don't think they're my accounts. I am human, yes, I am human. Of course, it's not the password. Do. Why isn't that working? Oh, it's back here. It's back here. Oops, did me. Alright, so just waiting on a few more people, I believe. Don't know how many are racing tonight. We'll give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. Just check the standings here now as well. Just in case 16th, the 9th, that will be less surely with us. It's not. I don't think. Not too sure. So he's round 9 done there. Let's look at the race calendar here and see quickly. Race calendar. Tier 3. Yeah, no, we did Canada. I remember that. So yeah, we're down 1, so we might not have championship standings tonight. We had him in the last race. from Pesci. Anyway, it should be an interesting night. Mexico, tricky circuit. Few will struggle here, I would say. I know if I was racing here tonight, I would profusely struggle with this track. I think I raced it a few weeks ago, so not the funnest one. Oh yeah, sorry. Spectate. Hughesy left. Have I Hughesy on this? So Brewdog had. Alright, okay. Okay. So I think Hughesy has actually left the league, according to Mrs. P. As you are probably aware, I've really been keeping tabs on this the last few weeks. I've been a bit busy with rubbish going on in my life, so I hadn't really been keeping track. But apparently, yeah, Hughesy has left, so Brewdog is obviously, then I would assume, world champion, which would make a lot of sense. So yeah, we're spectating anyway. Can't go too wrong after that, I suppose. Keeping in this Twitch chat now as well tonight. Oh, we've sorry Frost, I'm not ignoring you, man. And Viva. Fun tracks is Viva. Yes, Viva. Absolutely fantastic, yes. Absolutely wonderful. We've been raided by Frost. Top man Frost. Top man. 9 watching. So apologies about the slight delay here. We're just waiting, I think, on one person. And then we will be getting underway here in Mexico for what should be a cracker. I presume Mr. P isn't racing tonight, by the way. Or is he? Maybe we're letting the cat among the pigeons tonight. Who knows? Kind of wish he was racing, to be honest. If he is, it would be fun. Is Glue joining? Okay, Glue needs an invite. Have I got this Glue guy on a... Oh, actually, he's another name, doesn't he? Sheen ain't getting this. Vegas is better. Do you know, I'm going to refrain from saying what I think about Vegas. And, oh yeah, utterly convincing Viva, absolutely. I love this track. It's, it's very fun. I had a great race. I don't know what tier it was, but I definitely didn't plow into the back of someone and cause a massive accident. So I've been very clean around this lovely circuit here in Mexico City. I don't have Sheen in this, or Glue, however you want to call them. So we'll just have to wait and see. Are you online? Oh, my back is in absolute bits after today as well. Sitting down all day is not good. Standing. Oh, come on. Flipping laptop is causing trouble here. Alright. Just waiting for Glue here, see what their story is. They're struggling to join. All adding to the suspense of this cracking circuit and this cracking race ahead. Let's see your ESO. The attendance isn't looking great tonight, but then again I didn't race last night, so I can't really be commenting on them things. But yeah, look, for myself, hopefully I can find a bit of time for next year. Just been so busy recently, but one thing's for sure, I'll definitely be involved with the league in some way. But yeah, numbers have definitely dropped at the end of this season, but good news is that there's plenty doing trials. Guys in the league have been absolutely flat to the mass doing trials and things, so I think we'll have a good field next year. Plenty of drivers. It's literally closing the game when he tries to accept the invite, so I think yeah, and once again causing a few little difficulties here. Right, perfect. I'll add you there, Glue. Alright, my touchpad doesn't want to work on this, so I can't actually add him. Man, this game is actually ridiculous. The bugs coming out of it. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Controllers. Menu controls. Yeah, they're not going here, but this doesn't want me to do it. If anyone in the league is watching this, I can't add him because the game doesn't want to let me go into the touchpad thing. What? Okay. Anyway, everyone in the chat, how was your days? I hope you all had lovely days. The weather isn't great here in the Republic of Ireland tonight, unfortunately. There is streams of water pouring down my road and my street, so I might go for a swim after. And yeah, it's confirmed we're now racing Formula 2 tonight. And dramatic turn of events. All the F1 cars have been seized at the Mexican port, and we've had to resort to using the spare F2 cars for this race. So apologies for the inconvenience, everyone, but it should still make for some good racing. When was this game released? I'm just thinking about it here. Like, this game's out a couple of months now, and it seems to me that there's nearly more bugs than when it first came out. You know? And it's the same with FIFA. I have played a bit of FIFA, and there is a lot of bugs in that also. So it's kind of a common theme with certain developers' games, unfortunately. Okay, glue is in. Fantastic stuff. So glue is good to go. And we're back to Formula 1 cars. They've been released from the port in Mexico, no longer impounded, and we've got the cars just in time. Mr. P might want to just make sure that this is reduced to a 50% race. Why weren't the flags showing for the F2 cars as well, like beside the drivers? I don't really get that. Or is that another glitch in the game? Probably is. Fun track. Fun track. We should be good to go any minute now. Please God. And we'll let the handbrake off and go flat to the mass. Oh, it's not showing. Flags aren't showing because they haven't selected their cars, I would presume. Do. Oh, we're going. Okay, sorry. We're going. What is Mark's number? 2 minutes notice. Okay, so we're finally underway here. 12 minutes after time. Apologies to everyone watching for the slight delay. Jason, Vegas, best track on the game. Yeah, it's great. It's I'm trying to talk about Vegas, to be honest. It seems to always rain there as well whenever we race there for some reason. Okay, so I think Brewdog is world champion, so it's racing for pride at this stage. Also, Mr. Pickle doesn't appear to be here. We're missing a few numbers tonight. All right, I suppose the old 2 week break from league racing probably didn't help things either because of the bugs. So Brewdog is leading it, Jason, and I think he's world champion because Levi Hughes and Mr. Pickle aren't racing tonight. Apparently, Levi Hughes has left. Why is Mr. P in this, by the way? What? So Mr. P is racing here for. Oh, it's raining, by the way. I forgot to mention that it's raining in Mexico. You know, yeah, it's raining in Mexico. You know, in the middle of summer here, so no surprises there. Yeah, to answer your question, Jason, Brewdog is the world champion. And he's leading as well, obviously. It's I'm not reading that out, Jason. I can't believe Mr. P is actually racing here, like. Suspense here in Tier 3. The maestro, the cat, the literal cat amongst the pigeons here tonight. Let's see. I'll tell you what, there's a lot on the line for Mr. P tonight. His pride, his ego, his legacy, it all is on the line tonight. And he's going to stay in the garage. Actually, before I do this now as well, we have a spinner there. We have someone that's spun already. I need to turn on my audio here, just in case you can't hear anything. Right. So we're good to go. So we have a few out in track here at the moment. PRV widget. We have the Haas brother of DD friend behind. Shazam. J Francis remains in the pits. Brewdog is out. Clues in the pits, and VFX Instinct is also out. So I believe Brewdog is going to be the man to cross the line first tonight in qualifying here in Mexico City. So fans are out with their umbrellas and cans of beer and whatever they have. So Brewdog then rounds the final corner. Snap of oversteer, lots of traction, but he's underway here in his flyer, his first flyer of the evening, with the Renault of SFR Energy then not far behind, potentially looking for a bit of a slipstream, one would assume. So the DRS is open and they're on dries, so I don't know what the weather forecast is, but I'd imagine they want to be getting a bit of a move on here, that's for sure, because things could turn quite dramatic otherwise, if they haven't already, of course. As I said, Brewdog here and continue to watch his lap. I'll put up the bits and pieces here now as well. So you have glue and inters confirmed. And yeah, it's grand. So glues and inters. Brewdog then. No idea how fast this is because I forgot to stand a few bits and pieces here. So into the stadium section then for Brewdog. What can the world champion do? The tier 3 world champion. As he rounds the final corner and it's up to the line, foot to the floor. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 125.6 for Brewdog. And SFR Energy then smashes it out the park with a 125 flat with a millisecond added on. Widget across next, I believe. It's not, sorry, it's VFX Instinct with a 127.6 and Widget with a 127.6 also. Shazam with a 127.3. The bones of 2.5 seconds off pole. Mighty stuff from Dan. There's our gaps, ladies and gentlemen. There's our gaps. The rest are in the Pittsburgh glue on the intermediates. Might be a master stroke here from Glue. Who knows? Because he might have just picked the right time to turn these inters on and throw them on. And potentially grab a sensational pole position here. We'll know after the first sector now. So it's not a purple sector 1. We don't have a gap as to what he is to pole here. But it's not purple in sector 1. Definite rain here now. Definite rain. Avoid the curbs at all costs here. They will squeeze you off the tarmac. As Dan now with a 124.6. 9/10 ahead of Brewdog, who throws it into the pits. Or the box, as some will know it as. Widget now crossing the line again here. Is he going to improve? He is. It's a 126.7. But Glue is the one I want to see here. What's it going to be for Glue? Oh, it's P2 for Glue. A 2 minutes. What's it going to be? What is it? Okay, fair enough. It's a 125.1 from Glue. Half a second off pole, and that might be indicative of the tyres to be on. Now then, Glue with a very, very impressive lap, it must be said. Widget, I would assume, is doing it. Yes, he is, because he has invalidated. Now J. Francis out of course on the soft tyres here. Hazer has joined and Hazer has left. And Hazer has joined again. Good evening, Hazer. How are you, mate? Radio. So no one else out, bar Widget, who obviously has invalidated his lap. He's charged up a bit again, so maybe this man's going to go for another lap. Who knows? But I highly doubt he will. Obviously due to the pace deficit that will occur due to his USRs. And of course, he has pits. So it's down to this man then, J. Francis, who's come out a bit later. But this is really going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works with Glue, putting in a fantastic lap on the intermediate, it must be said. And Brewdog now a bit in the back foot, the bones of a second off of Energy Dan here, who's after putting in a very, very impressive lap. Here we go then, the Red Bull, the lone Red Bull here on this grid this evening of J. Francis here, beginning his flyer, looking very planted, looking very comfortable, and he's on his way. Showed some really good stuff this season, improved vastly in comparison to the start of the season. Can he potentially put it on pole? Who knows? It's very possible. Some very good times coming in here this evening. We'll see here in Sector 1 what Dan can do, or what J. Francis can do, of course. Up to the line here, Sector 1. And it's purple. It absolutely is purple. However, the rain appears to have stopped. Just seeing it there now. The rain has stopped. It's bone dry. And are we seeing... Oh my good God. We're seeing him himself. Look who it is. As if he didn't think I would notice. The sneaky, sneaky boy, Mr. P. Trying to quietly go about his business. But we'll be keeping a very close eye on Mr. P. So we will. Don't you worry, everyone. But anyway, back to J. Francis. The centre of attention here this evening. Into Sector 3, here into the stadium section. And he's going absolutely mighty. Purple in Sector 1. Purple in Sector 2. Rounds the final corner in Sector 3. And a massive, massive bite at the back. And he's left it all on the table. Francis Pitts. And what could have been for the man in the Red Bull. Not Of course, the session's over. He just hasn't put a lap in. But that was encouraging for him. Very encouraging indeed. Instinct, of course, now on a flyer, so we'll follow Instinct and then we'll follow Mr. Poem. Everyone's watching Mr. Poem, don't forget. Okay, so Instinct then, have me keeping an eye on his Sector 1. We'll keep an eye on his Sector 2 mind and see what he can put together. 2.9 off of Pole, obviously lots of room for improvement there, and he's more than capable of doing so. Sector 2 is purple. Instinct flying it. Absolutely flying it. Mighty. Once again, another driver flying it here in Mexico in this unpredictable qualifying session. Up to the final corner here now in Sector 3. Holds up much better than Jay Francis, but still a snap at the rear and has to correct it. Up to the line. It's a 120.8. 3.8 ahead of Energy Dan. That is provisional pole, but the track really is ramping up at an astronomical rate. Mr. Poem then next. And it's purple for him in Sector 2. Of course it is. Into the stadium section. The Alfa Romeo. Can he put it on pole? He probably will, but let's wait and see. Coming up to the line. Looks very smooth. Looks very composed. Mr. P crosses the line, and there we go. It's a 124. It's not pole. It is not pole, and that is quite bizarre. It's 124.3 for Mr. P. So he hasn't put it on pole. It's the bones of 3 and a bit seconds off the lead of Instinct. Anyway, back to the rest of the grid here. So Brewdog is next then. What can Brewdog do? Coming up to the line here in Sector 2. Surely it'll be purple with it. It is indeed purple in Sector 2. 4.4 up in his own lap. Glue is out. And Glue is out. I don't know what happened there to Glue. It's Mrs. P. Alright, sorry lads. I thought it was Mr. P. Up to the line here, it's 4 tenths off pole, and Widget has put it on pole. 119.1. Brewdog, 4 tenths off that. Dan's on a outlap. So that's Mrs. P, lads. It's Mrs. P. Mr. P couldn't face the music in Tier 3. He knew he'd be shushed. Sad death, in fact. Instinct, I believe, is on a flyer here once more. I need to keep an eye on this now because I've lost track. He is, yeah. Instinct is on a flyer. 8 tenths up. He is flying it. This might be a purple here in Sector 2. It is. It doesn't mean anything though, because Brewdog says a purple Sector 2 and he was still 4 tenths off pole. So it might be glitched. But into the stadium section here again for Instinct. We would be killed. Oh, another massive snap at the back. What is it about that corner? Has Mr. P sprayed a bit of WD-40 on there or something? Who knows? But Instinct puts it onto the front row. And it's 4 tenths off pole for him. Dan next. Not on an outlap. He's on a flyer. Watch the cars. They're really on the edge at the moment. That looks mighty. Looks smooth. Up to the line is Dan on pole. Absolutely he is. A 1:17.6. 1.5 seconds quicker than PRV Widget. And that now is a lap to beat. Really is ramping up here. Back to Jay Francis, who I believe has begun his flying lap, but his DRS closed. Who else have we got now? So Dan's and Paul. Is he going to get noise on it? Okay. So DD Friends on the flyer, of course. Yeah, Mr. P reckons he would be, quote, killed if they let him race in Tier 3. I agree, Mr. P. You would be destroyed by these wonderful drivers. Dan here really showing some special stuff tonight. DD Friend, anyway. Let's keep an eye on his times, because anything can happen here. It looks like it's a very competitive field, even though, fair enough, there's a field split at 9.7 seconds, but times are ramping up really quickly here. And it's wide open. Absolutely wide open. So coming up to the line here in Sector 2, we keep an eye on Jay Francis, of course, as well. It's a purple Sector 2 again. I don't know how much that means, but it must mean something, surely. It can't be that glitched. But Jay Francis first, and then we'll do DD Friend. So Jay Francis. I know it has backed off. DD Friend most certainly hasn't. Up to the line for DD Friend. What's it going to be? It looks quick, but it's not quite quick enough for Paul. It's quick enough, though, for P2. DD Friend on the front row with Dan. And some mighty stuff from the Haas brothers today, as they're 2 and 3 on the grid as it stands, of course. 2 and out laps. Brewdog, what can he do? The world champion of tier 3 here in UFRL. And Widget, who has been flying, absolutely flying it. Guys went to the pits there. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, here we go. Widget is on his flyer. And Mrs. P is on her outlap. So apologies to Mrs. P for assuming it was Mr. P or Master P Racing, as you call him. It is in fact yourself. Alright, so I'll keep a close eye here. Let's keep make sure this fellow isn't racing or going for a hot lap. He isn't. So Widget then 7.6 up, which is absolutely mental. If he's up 7.6 seconds on his first sector, surely to God. And he, what, 1.5 off of Paul? Like, that would absolutely shock the world, wouldn't it? Like, it has to be a glitch, surely. I presume Brewdog is behind him. He is. So what can Widget do? Sorry to Mr. Visa, I'm seeing all these messages here on the Twitch. Missed a lot of them. Anyway, what can Widget do? Is it good enough for Paul? It's not quite. It's that Delta's a man all over the place. Instinct starts his flyer. So he's 8/10 off of Paul. Dan remains in the pits, and Dan is done qualifying. And Jay Francis has retired from qualifying. So we're down to a few here. We're down to a few. This is it for Brewdog. Well, it's his second last lap potentially, but with his ERS not used, he's going to go again. So this isn't it for Brewdog. This will be now coming on to his final lap. So he lets the handbrake off, and he's going to go for it. Here we go, Brewdog then. It's all or nothing. Mrs. P, of course, now. What can she do? That is the question. And how else we got Shazam, of course, as well. Let's not forget him. So Mrs. P is first. No idea how quick she's going. Could be anything from first to last. Who knows? It's wide open here, Mexico. Rounding the final corner and crossing the line. It's a 1:23.2, and it remains P2 for her, or P7 for her, apologies. Not a bad time at all for someone who hasn't been racing this year. As Dan retires, Instinct now is into the pits. It's all down to this man, and of course Shazam. Let's not forget Shazam right behind him. But Brewdog then, up 4/10. It is a purple. It is purple in Sector 2 for Brewdog. Could he be about to snatch pole from Dan? Champion of Tier 3 into the stadium section and out of it. Coming to the final corner. Can he snatch pole from Dan? Looks like he might. Crossing the line. It's not going to be pole. It's going to be P4 for Brewdog. So Dan is on pole, and Shazam puts it onto P5. A fantastic effort from Shazam there. And that, I believe, is not your qualifying, because we have one more coming here, and it's Mrs. P again. So Mrs. P then doing one more flyer, potentially. What's it going to be? This is surely going to be improvement. It is. I have no idea what it is. But that is your qualifying, folks. Mrs. P is in P8. Yes, for sure. I don't like Mexico. The track, I don't like Mexico. The track, not, I like Mexico, the country, of course, but the track itself is horrendous. So yeah, your grid, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, DD Friend, Widget, Brewdog, Shazam, Instinct, J Francis, Mrs. P, and Glue. Wonderful stuff from everyone tonight in qualifying. But that was only the starter. Now we have the main course, the race, coming in 5 minutes. Stay tuned. Just keep it in Discord there and let everyone know what time we have to restart. There's a man in here, Mr. P, and there's a really bad smell coming off of him in this live stream. It's revolting, to be quite honest with you. It's yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel sorry for the man, to be honest. But yeah, Mexico is a tricky track tonight. And it probably won't reignite our love of league racing, that's for sure. But I don't know what we have next. I think it's a better circuit, so that might entice her to keep going. So it looks dry here tonight, in this Mexico City circuit. Who knows what'll happen? I hope she returns, but with the baby on the way, she won't finish the season. Indeed, Mr. P, you've been a very busy boy. But yeah, jokes aside, obviously that is going to take center and front of attention, and I wish you the very, very best indeed. So yeah, we have Zandvoort actually after this, which I love. I like Zandvoort, so that's a nice way to end off the season. That will be good. That will be good. Actually, sorry, let's check what time we're going back racing here. What time are we going? Okay, so we go 20:38, which is 2 minutes from now. I might as well stay on the mic and keep things mixing and going here. Bless, brother. Absolutely, man. Yeah, there's life is getting busy for a few of us, but I often say to myself, it's a good complaint to have, if it even is a complaint, to be honest. There's people in the world that don't have the privilege of being in the situation we are, so we have to take a step back and appreciate all those things as well. But yeah, obviously, I wish you the very best, Mr. P. It should be a fun few months, especially coming up to Christmas and that, and Halloween, my favourite time of the year. That's actually just a lie. Like, Halloween is not my favourite time of the year. I just do love it though. So, a minute to go. I'll keep an eye on race control here and inform everyone if you're in the race and watching when to go. But yeah, as well, obviously a big weekend this weekend in the Rugby World Cup. We have Ireland and Scotland. Obviously I'm Irish, as you've probably judged by my horrific accent. So that will be my Saturday evening written off, where I'll be probably having a barbecue and a few bottles of beer. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, bro, so keep busy. Exactly, yeah. Keeping busy is key, man. It's good for the head as well. Yeah, no, it's a privilege to be busy, to be fair. It's I'd much prefer to be flat to the rafters than doing nothing. Ireland! Fact, lad. I don't know, who are England playing? I must check there. 2038, we should be going any second now anyway. More importantly, nothing in the race control yet, so don't ready up anyone until we have the all clear. Oh yeah, France Italy Saturday. England Samoa on Saturday, along with Wales and Georgia, and obviously we're playing Scotland at 8 o'clock. Fiji, Portugal, Japan, Argentina. So there's some good games on. But anyway, back to the main event here. 5 bets. Let's pedal to the middle and go. So lights out, and away we go here in Mexico. And we have stuff going on. I need to get this stuff on first of all. Anyway, here we go then. Dan leads from DD Friend, who takes the lead up the inside. It's a 3-way into turn 1. A small bit of contact between the Alpine and the Haas of DD Friend. But unbelievably, Widget leads, as we have a severe collision at the back. And we have a severe collision at the back, and Mrs. P has ploughed into glue. Maybe, I'm actually not too sure now, I can't make assumptions there, but we have a virtual safety car. And my best friend, the safety car, returns in virtual format. Fantastic. Welcome to the safety car this evening. Can he score some football? No beer. No beer on the wagon. Tactless. Yeah, there's no point keeping eye on the football when Man United can't even beat Galatasaray. But anyway, we're back racing here in Mexico, and things are looking very spicy indeed. As now Widget leads from Dan Still, from DD Friend, from Brewdog, from Instinct, from Shazam. Francis lags slightly behind. Mrs. P is without a front wing, and Glue is at the back due to that collision. Fastest lap for Widget, obviously, as he's the first across the line here on lap 1. No DRS for another lap, and then all fun will begin. Great. So Shazam then, looking to go around the outside of Instinct, but the gap closes and the Williams driver holds firm. Good racing from both there, of course. So Mrs. P's in the pits, of course, as well. Glue remains out. But look at this. 4 cars, tail to front. Okay, so Glue spun and Mrs. P got collected. Loud and clear. Come on, Mr. P. It's not Mr. P racing. No, it's Mrs. P. Window. But yeah, things are spicing up, aren't they? Widget and Dan are looking. Dan in particular is looking to pounce the Alpine. Looking very quick here in Mexico in the stadium section, right up the rear end of Widget. Oh, the back again slipping out. There's something about this last corner where the back end just does not want to comply. Come on, Mrs. P. That's more like it, Black Panther. The Alpine absolutely lifting it as we have a swap of positions. It's Shazam. It's the Williams of Instinct. And it's clean racing. Excellent stuff, lads. Then now look at this. It's really, really spicy here at the front. There's 4 cars going hammer and tongs for the win here. Early doors. Yeah, Salem section is rotten. Oh my mother of God! DD Friends lives to fight another day, but mother of Christ, that could have been really bad. So easy to do there. It happened with me and Doug, even though I couldn't even see him in the 100% here. And the rest of this is history. Hashtag Doug didn't climax. So, back to the racing here. Brewdog 0.5 of a second behind. Yeah, absolutely wonderful from Widget today, I must say. Fantastic. And of course now, Widget is in the lead. And looks very competent there. Really managing it quite well. So there's now 3 in the mix here. Has someone... Oh, it's just where the camera went there. But look at this. Dan looking all over the back of Widget. He's going to think about it. He's going to do it. Up the inside. Widget is not going to do anything silly here, it would seem. As Brewdog now waits to pounce. Potentially, of course. Sticking with the leading 2. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens here. 3 epic drivers going for it here. From what I can see anyway. What can Brewdog do? He's in a bit of a waiting phase here at the moment. Instinct obviously hunting down DD Friend now, who might have damage after that off in Sector 2. Sorry, it's still Sector 1, I think she wouldn't have. But look at this, the Hass of Widget all over the rear of Dan, and he's not going away. DRS is going to come into play here for Widget and for Brewdog, so anything could happen. Time penalty for Glue, but look at this, Brewdog looks a lot nearer to Widget than Widget does to Dan, but he's still gaining at an astronomical rate. We're just going to think about it. Round the outside. There isn't contact. It's excellent racing. That's what it is. Unbelievable move from Widget. Back into the lead. Phenomenal stuff from Widget. But Dan now looks to go home again, as does Brewdog. Up the inside of Dan. And Dan's going to hang around the outside. It's very, very nip and tuck here. Unbelievable racing. That's phenomenal stuff there. Not even I could do that, and that's not much of a compliment because I'm not great, but that's unbelievable from the 3 of them. Yellow flag sector 3, and Mrs. P is out. And the safety car returns to haunt me in my nightmares. Shock. Horror. But look, Mrs. P must have had a bit of a moment there potentially. And unfortunately she is out of the race. Actually, how old is Widget, Mr. P, you know? Fair play to him. That was unbelievable racing, by the way, between these 3. That is tier 1 spec there. The way they kept it so clean. Really, really impressive now, I must say. Not just saying that, that was unbelievable stuff from the 3 of them. As into the pits comes Brewdog, playing a bit of mind games there. And I don't know, he did cross that, I presume, before the white line. Look, that's not my place to say anyway. But Brewdog pits, and what's Brewdog going to put on is a question. There's going to be the hard tyre, so he's going to try and go to the end, one would assume. It's impossible, yeah. It's very hard to avoid contact in the named corners. So that was mighty impressive there from the 3 of them. It really was. 3 of them fighting for the lead, essentially. Plenty of cars into the pits, of course, I must add. So who is into the pits? Brewdog, Shazam, DD Friend, and Glue. Who isn't into the pits? Widget, Dan, Instinct, and J Francis. So what will they do now? Will they pit this lap? I don't think they will, to be honest. So Brewdog, the only man to pit. The only man to pit is Brewdog. take a seat here. My back's in bits. Oh, let's. Okay. Where's my water? So into the pits comes Jay Francis. Sorry, I was doing a bit of daydreaming there. So Jay Francis does decide to come in for the hard tires, and he'd nothing really to lose. In fairness, he could afford to see who was going to do what. So another lap behind the safety car, of course, and we will see who comes where. Anyway, back to the leading cars. And things are looking spicy now. We have a mix of pitters and non-pitters, and it could be anyone's to win or lose. Oh man. Mexico is hopping, lads. Mexico is absolutely hopping. Has anyone scored the Celtic game and the Newcastle game, by the way? In the chat, would be appreciated. Yeah, I'm actually not too sure what the story is with the pit stops, Viva. Probably is a two-stopper actually. Yeah, the more I think about it now. Yeah, actually, no, it has to be a two-stopper surely. So that tells me that this man is going to go for the end. Oh no, sorry, what am I saying? She's going to two-stop, and they're going to one-stop. So yeah, I see what you mean now. Jeez, anyone could win this race. Yeah, now. The safety car is coming in. Stop the lights. I don't have a bet on Celtic and Newcastle in case you think I do. That's very good news. Okay, anyway, here we go again, racing. Widget from Dan, from Instinct, from Brewdog. Will they keep it clean here on lap 1 until the DRS comes back on? They will for the time being. Jay Francis looks to make a move and glue. And he succeeds. Look at this, stands all over the rear end of Widget. Thanks for the updates, Viva, much appreciated. The Man City game doesn't make me happy, unfortunately, but Celtic and Lazio, hopefully Celtic can do the job there. As Brewdog gets past Instinct up the inside into that kind of double of corners there, really tricky to do it there, and he has done it successfully. So Brewdog now up to third on fresher tyres than the leading two, of course, albeit they have the mediums. So Widget now just a quarter of a second ahead of Dan. Dan the man with a plan. What can he do? Is he going to pounce here into turn 1? Keeps it slightly silly, but the back again wants to give way. Dan corrects accordingly. And look at this, Widget trying to break the toe. Dan still doesn't have DRS, but he's going to be flying. He's going to be flying. He's going to go up the inside, does Dan. Will he have enough? He does indeed. Dan again takes the lead from Widget. So Dan back ahead of Widget. Instinct behind Shazam. Widget now, what can he do? Can he trade another punch with the leader? With Dan, the man. And Brewdog now, of course, coming into the mix with those fresher tyres. What can he do? Surely he'll dispatch these two and try and get on his way, seeing as it now looks like he's doing a two-stopper. Critical moments here in this race, because if these can hold him up for a lap or two, it could be the difference between winning and losing this race. But it looks to me like Widget might be slightly struggling with those tyres. DD Friend with a 3-second time penalty now for cutting corners multiple times. But Widget now within a half second, so he'll have DRS I think, won't he? We'll know in a minute. Yeah, if there's no safety car, he'd be boxing as well, in fairness. There's still no DRS for some reason, so it must be after this straight it'll be back on. But look at this, DD Friend now making a lot of work of instinct on fresher hard tyres. And gets the move done up to P5. But look at this, Brewdog now looks to make a move. Oh, it looks like there's no space there. Good driving from the pair. Good defensive work there from Widget also. And this all holds up Brewdog a bit too much. But look at this. The inside now is open. Brewdog sticks it up the inside. And he gets the move done. And now look at this. The Haas of Shazam looking to make a move too. The medium runners now that didn't pit definitely struggling. There is no doubt about it. So Brewdog now of course will set after Dan and try and make work of him very quickly indeed. As to not hamper his race too much. But even that little hole up there from Widget, that could be the difference today from losing and winning. It's really good. Oh, but as Widget gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and that could be big trouble for his race. Such a pity for Brewdog, or for Widget even. Watch Brewdog absolutely flying, by the way. Now to within 4 tenths. But look at that, Shazam up to third now. Widget might have made a mistake, but Shazam gets the move done and is now up to P3 as Dan also gets overtaken by Brewdog. But look at this. Oh, he's off the track. It's all kicking off here in Mexico. Yellow flags. DD Friend has spun out, and it's a safety car, virtual safety car. And I'll tell you what, Dan, if he can get to the pits before this ends, might consider coming in for a fresh set of tyres to limit the damage under a pit stop. It might end too soon, however, more than likely. Oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do, lads? It's gonna end too soon, I think, is it? It's still on for now, but any minute it probably will end. Could end while he's in the pits, of course, as well. DRS enabled, and it's back underway, so he won't pit surely. I'll tell you what, this gives him a good chance to hold up Brewdog a bit more potentially. Here we go then, Dan versus Brewdog once more. He's gonna get here at the national of the race. Here comes Dan. Up the inside goes Dan. And gets the move done. Just from Brewdog. But Brewdog now of course will have that run here into the start of sector 2. DRS for Dan, look at that, look. So Brewdog probably won't be able to do anything here in a minute. Instinct now gets past Glue. I bet the leading pair, Brewdog then looking for a way past, but not finding it. This is good news for Dan. The more he holds him up, the more it affects his race. DRS for Brewdog. DRS for Brewdog. Bit of a wiggle there from down at the back of his car. What can he do? Running the final corner here once more. Oh, look at that, a bit of a wobble there for Dan, and now he's going to be a sitting duck down this monster straight here in Mexico. Matter of time. DD Friend, by the way, pits for soft tyres. And here he comes, up the inside, lifting it, and makes easy work of Dan. Back into the lead for Brewdog. With Shazam not far behind. by choosing to hold off, and wisely so. But now he'll have DRS and Dan 1 and Glue now. Instinct trading places further back. Let's combine these two then. Instinct and Glue trading blows here. Dan's surely struggling on those tires now, by the way. Surely. Yeah, so Dan now out of DRS territory from Brewdog, and Shazam within it, and he had DRS in that straight of course too. Ominous signs for Dan. Will he box now was the question. Probably still a bit too early for one stop. He's just said DRS that could cost him dearly. No DRS for Dan. No, there is DRS, and there is DRS for Dan, I think. No, there isn't. There isn't DRS for Dan, sorry. So here comes Shazam. He's going to go for it, potentially not quite. He holds off. Wisely so, perhaps. But look at Dan all over the place at the rear. It's going to invite the Mercedes of Shazam in, and mother of God, they nearly collide. But they don't. And Shazam alongside him now, but he'll have the inside line, will Dan. But it's too little too late, because he left it all to do coming out of that corner. And these tyres now are well and truly cooked, as DD Friend now sets the fastest lap of the race. And I'll tell you what, them soft tyres might be appealing to some, especially for two-stopping. It's a bit quiet here, but Dan does have DRS in Shazam, let's not forget him. And if the lads on pit again, he will most certainly be fresher on tyres at the end. But look at that, Glue now up to 4th, ahead of Widget, very much wheel to wheel there. Oh, very close, but not quite close enough, and there is contact between the Haas and the Alpine. But no damage for Glue, thank God, or hopefully not for Widget either. But some very close racing here, and it's hard to avoid contact, in fairness, here in Mexico. So what's going to happen here? Dan now only 3/10 behind Glue, or behind Shazam even, and he's come back into his own here. Hard's not holding on as well as some of the thought, and it is proving here. Dan now is nearly out of a second out of that DRS window, but he isn't. He's still within it. There's still hope for Dan here, but it might be a bit too far behind, in all fairness. And it is too far behind. He won't quite have enough in the tank to do that one, I'm afraid. But coming up to this second DRS zone, it's very possible. Penalty again for Glue. 6 seconds worth of them now. What can Dan do? Can Dan get past Shazam once again? He's keeping with him, in fairness, so it's very possible. Oh my goodness gracious, Dan nearly losing it. Nearly binning it, but holding on again very well. Look at that from from Shazam, a bit of a moment at the back. And Dan is after being invited back into a bit of a scrap here. The Hards are not holding on for Shazam as he would have hoped they would have. And Dan, I think, is going to have this move down the inside here, surely. Here he comes in. DRS opens now. And up the inside and back into second place goes Dan. Shazam will rule that mistake in Sector 3 in the stadium. Was very costly indeed. But this man definitely won't care. Back into the top 2 positions then. Oh, lads. So then, 3.4 off Brewdog isn't into the world either, in fairness. So Shazam remaining within 7/10 of Dan. It's kind of quiet here, to be honest. TD French chipping away there, in fairness, closing that gap to Jay Francis some bit. Okay, here comes Shazam then. 7/10 is doable on this straight with DRS. Very doable indeed. TD French another penalty, sets him up to 6 as well, I think. Here comes Shazam though. He's going to think about it. He's going to think about it. He holds off though. He holds off as Glue pits, by the way. I haven't missed that. Glue does pit. Oh, Dan, the tyres must be cooked at this stage. He's done half a race distance on those mediums. Phenomenal effort, in fairness. The mediums now for Dan look to be cooked big time. Oh, Shazam with a penalty. That could be costly. Very harsh, must be said, but that is a penalty for Shazam. And that could be really, really damaging for his race. Widget now will have the tail up after seeing that. It gives him hope for a podium, perhaps. Widget now is in the pits as well, I must add. Oh, Shazam will rule that one. Oh, what's going to happen here now is the question. Shazam with the 3 seconds, is it just going to go for it is the question. As it looks, like Dan's actually gaining time here on Brewdog, and tyres that are far older than him. Maybe Brewdog cooked him a bit too much. Then the out of the DRS range of Dan. So it's going to really peter out here for a while, I think, until we have a few pit stops. Okay, he's still gaining the bonus of half a second down the straight there with DRS. That's the difference it makes. I can't believe this. Brewdog is actually losing time to Den, even though his tyres are 5 laps younger and they're hard tyres. So the hard's really not working well for some here, it would seem. Yellow flag sector 1. And it's for Glue, who was spun, it would seem. Unfortunately for Glue, he has spun. As Shazam pits. Shazam has pit then. So it must be surely the mediums, it is indeed. So Shazam, of course, that penalty now, what can he do? His instinct is also now in the pits. It must be that. It must be said. And now Dan pits to try and cover off the undercut along with Brewdog. Well, well, well. Now then, even playing field perhaps. Till the finish line. This can make things really interesting. I'm surprised. As, what the... So Dan's gone for soft tyres then. And that is a real surprise. Wow. He's got to do the bones of, what is it, 15 laps on those. He's losing a bit of time there. That could be costly for them, by the way. He's on now into P4. Brewdog remains in the lead. So now then, things will get spicy. Widget only on 3 lap old hards, must be said as well. Yes, yeah, so Dan's going to want to dispatch these very quickly because his advantage with the soft tyres will wear out very quickly. That tells me he's very confident in his tyre wear. And I don't blame him judged off what happened with Brewdog and the hards there. He appeared to be really struggling, did Brewdog, on those hards, so his tyre wear might be a bit higher than the rest. Who knows, to be honest, So we have a trio of cars here. As look at that, Shazam up to second place. As look at this mayhem. As Dan has to take avoiding action and almost does a ziggy on it. With Glue retires, and that is the safety car. The background is ominous as Glue crashes out, and that now makes this very interesting indeed. As surely the likes of Jay Francis and not Dan will pit. So Vivo was right, any more safety cars and I'll be pitting. So, well, so this is now the race order essentially. Brewdog leads on the mediums from Shazam, from Widget and from Dan. So this is going to be really, really interesting actually, because we've got 4 cars and 2 are on mediums, 1 is on the hards and 1 is on the softs, all of similar age. Obviously Widget's tyres are slightly older by about 3 laps to the leader and 2 laps to Shazam. So I'd fancy maybe Widget here I'll tell you what, lads, it's a long way to go to the end on a set of mediums and softs. And softs in particular, I'd be shocked if they last. But his tyre was good. It must be noted, was Dan's. So we're going to have one more lap on the safety car, I would say. Oh, excuse me. So then, this is going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to this now. Yeah, like look here, like they're all in very similar tires. Like anyone could really win this race. I mean, even Didi Friend, fair enough, he's a penalties in that, but this is the penalty situation, by the way. Obviously, Glue had 6 seconds worth, but he's now out of the race. Shazam and Widget now with the 3 seconds. You know they're going to have to play down a real gauntlet here to pull the gap away from Brewdog, to win this one. If they had the penalties, it'd be much more open. Now we'll quickly look at the penalties and the warnings here, maybe a minute. So Dan has two warnings already. Brewdog has actually got none. So I think Dan doesn't have any penalties, but if Dan gets one more warning, he is going to get a penalty. This is very nip and tuck, I must say. So if Brewdog keeps it clean, it's a good chance he's going to win this because of penalties. I suppose the question is, will the safety car be in this lap? And it is. Just as I say it, the safety car peels away. And we'll be back under racing action here any moment now as we head towards the infamous stadium section here in Mexico. What a great podium that is in the background, by the way, in such a great location also in this famous Sector 3. Any moment now. Brewdog goes now. Wobble at the back and a 5-second time penalty for Jay Francis. He has had a collision with someone. But anyway, back to the racing action. Widget ahead of Instinct. Yeah, and he had to give that back. I was about to say, it looked like it was too near the finish line. Jay Francis not on to last. Shazam now hunts down the leader, Brewdog. Dan already up to third, by the way. He's got ahead of Widget, and that's crucial for him. Absolutely crucial. Shazam keeping tabs with Brewdog, albeit Brewdog is pulling out a small bit of a gap. And it's out to outside the 1 second gap for DRS already. So Dan now, if he wants to win this race, is going to have to get the move done very quickly on Shazam, it would seem, in the next 2 laps potentially. Here comes Shazam, holding off Dan for all his might and succeeding for now. But Dan is lurking and he is waiting to pounce here. There's a win in his grasp. He can sense it, he can feel it. He won't have enough here though, I don't think. He is using overtake. No, he actually isn't, sorry. You can just see he's got oceans of more grip than Shazam. Shazam gets it all wrong at that section of the circuit there. And then has to lay on the brakes. Oh my, slide again from Dan. He holds it just. This is all eating away at Dan's time to win this race. It's now or never for Dan. He really has to get this move done in the next lap or so. But Shazam not going to give this one up easy, defending for all his might and very impressively so, I must say. Widget obviously in the hards is dropping back a bit, so the hards not looking like a great tyre here today. The mediums and softs look like the go-to ones. DRS enabled. They won't be open this lap for Dan. Look at this, he's gaining. He's going to go for it, surely, is he? Oh, he's going to hold out just about. But he's going to make Shazam think about defending, and he has to. If he's losing too much traction here on this car, then still no DRS, of course, because of the DRS zone being before this lap. Slight lock up there from Shazam. It's just going to be a better win for Dan, really. Like, he's trying his best, but to be fair to Shazam, he's doing a very good job of holding him up and defending very, very well. And tyres are probably a bit of a disadvantage for him, but later in the race, towards the end, it'll come back to his own, and he'll probably start gaining time and then once more. Here we go then for round 3. DD Friend, another penalty for DD Friend. That's 9 seconds, I believe. Oh, it's 14. Oh my god, DD Friend's having a bad day with the penalties. That could be him in big trouble. Dan's tyres now looking like they're about to maybe give up already. Lose last bit of time there, but here he comes. He's not near enough. Not near enough is Dan. He's going to think about it here again. He's going to try to set up potentially for this DRS zone. But still, he's not near enough. Instinct now all over Widget, by the way. Oh, there we go. That's the nail in the coffin for Dan. We were warned about it, but he gets the move done in Shazam. But it's a bit of a blow because he now has that 3-second time penalty. Let's just look quickly and see if has Brewdog got any more. I don't think he does, Brewdog. He's keeping it squeaky clean here. But the warning was coming. The warning was coming for Dan, and it's come now at the ultimate expense. A 3-second time penalty. And that could be curtains for him unless he can pull out some mega laps here towards the finish. But it doesn't matter because Shazam's back ahead again. Mighty stuff from Shazam. He's back ahead. Instinct thinking about a move there, and Widget goes a bit deep. Widget now defending for all his might also. Here we go then. Can Instinct think about it? Up the inside, potentially a Widget. He's going to think about it. He's going to go for it. And there is contact. There is a bit of contact. Nothing too major, but a bit. And look at this. He's trying to force a move around the outside nearly. His Instinct. But the Hassman is having none of it. And it's after costing Instinct dearly there. It's cost him 2 places, hasn't it? Well, a place anyway at least. But Dan now coming again. And what now looks like the battle for P2, to be honest. DD Friend and Widget in the stadium section. Mental stuff. And DD Friend is ahead. Unbelievable. But Dan now right up the gearbox of Shazam. And Dan, can he hold it on around the outside? It's going to be nip and tuck. But he does. And it's second place for Dan once more as Witches and DD Friend now again trading blows, trading punches. He's going to try to hang around the outside as DD Friend, but it will come to no prevail for him as Widget holds on, and Widget now back up into P4. Brilliant racing from everyone involved. Dan he's going to try and build a gap to Shazam, but that gap looks like it's not going to build because Shazam has some mighty pace in that Mercedes today, and on those well looking medium tyres. Definitely within a shout here for P2. Yeah, we have Instinct at the back again. So Instinct's after getting overtaken by Jay Francis. And now then, Shazam. Dan's done enough, I think, this lap to get ahead and to get enough of a gap there to stop the DRS attack. And yeah, Shazam won't have it this lap, that's for sure. He's going to have to hold tough, but Widget now is going to come again on. I'll come again for DD Friends. And nothing happening. But Jay Francis now, look at this, getting very racy here on Widget. Pressure mediums must be added. But some mighty stuff here from Francis, and he's right in the mix here for a potential P4. Same age tyres, of course, as DD Friend. As Widget goes a bit wide there. It's very close, isn't it, between these two? As we let Shazam now outside the DRS detection of 1 second of Dan. Could prove very costly indeed. Looks like he just doesn't have the grip anymore in the car. This is not a battle at hand, however. Jay Francis still goes very deep there into that corner, but as does Widget. He's going to have a good run from here, surely. As Widget, I thought he was going to pit there, but he doesn't. But now Jay Francis with DRS, with a bit of ERS as well, and a massive slide across the track, swipe across the track even from the Haasman. The Williams has to hold off. And now Jay Francis is up to P5. Unbelievable. He can now chase after DD Friend for that last place on the second row. Jesus, the Haas spun there for a minute. Mother of God. Yeah, Francis now within the DRS detection point of a second on DD Friend. It's ominous signs for the Haasman. Is this the moment for Jay Francis to shine? So many maybes this season. Unbelievable pace, unbelievable racecraftship, or racemanship even, but it's not come together quite enough for him in enough of the races this season. Could that be able to all change tonight? He's been looking mightily impressive here in Mexico. Coming into the stadium section here once again. What can he do? Here he comes, Jay Francis. Maybe enough double instinct now, gets the move done on Widget. And 2 lap younger mediums versus the hards. The hards again, the only man left out on Widget, and they're not looking great tonight, it must be said. Such unfortunate stuff for Widget. He's been absolutely outstanding tonight. Has had fantastic pace, but those hard tires look like they've proved to cost him dearly here in Mexico. Jay Francis still looking for a way past DD Friend. Into the pits comes DD Friend. And he's conceded his own race by doing that. Maybe he's on for fastest lap. But DD Friend pits. And now Jay Francis is up to P4 as DD Friend retires. What in the name of God was that? DD Friend has had enough. And with only 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go, is it? He's out of the race. Devastating stuff for the Haas driver. As Widget now the lone Haas all alone on the circuit. Newcastle 3, PSG 1. Thank you, Viva, mate. Thank you. Great stuff. It's much to despise of Newcastle Football Club. I had a prediction that Newcastle and Celtic would win tonight, but at least one of those predictions is coming true. So this race now really looks like it's completely petered out with DD Friend retiring. Such a shame, by the way. Maybe there's a reason in the Discord. So yeah, let's look. It's looking like the race is as good as over. With 2 laps to go here in Mexico. It's been an interesting encounter to say the least. Look, it's not over yet, but Brewdog cruising, a man we've not seen too much of, as Jay Francis gets a 3-second time penalty, and the race is not over now. The race is not over now, I'll tell you what, because it's all coming out, and Jay Francis now needs to gain another 1.5 seconds on the Williams, and it could all come away from him again. Could have been a great P4 now. He's going to have to work for it, and instinct's actually gaining on him. They're flat to the floor here. Flat to the rafters, as we say in Ireland. But it's looking ominous for Jay Francis, isn't it? The writing is on the wall. Instinct is flying it on 2 lap younger tyres. Oh, there's a massive collision though. And it's a massive mess to go with it. As Instinct, oh my God, Instinct has had a shocker there, I'm afraid. I don't like pointing out the obvious, but it's Instinct has made complete and utter, I won't say the word, of his front wing. There's 1 lap to go, and it's Jay Francis's bad luck to continue yet again. Heartbreak for him, through no fault of his own. Jay Francis now will be probably at the back after that penalty, although Instinct will probably get a penalty for that. And it's all coming away from Jay Francis. He just doesn't catch a break, does he? He really, really doesn't. But back to the leaders, and one man has prevailed in the face of adversity once again. Your championship leader and winner here in Tier 3 in UFRL. Brewdog shows his class once again. Puts silence in the haters, the doubters, the people who wrote him off after qualifying perhaps. But rounds the final corner, and Brewdog wins in a championship procession here in Mexico. Dan finishing a very impressive P2. What could have been, had he put on the medium tyres and not got that penalty. Shazam will be a slightly distant third. And that's a fantastic podium for the Mercedes man. Fourth will now come to Widget, yes. Widget will get fourth. Mighty stuff from you, my friend. Wonderful, wonderful race. The hard tires costing him dearly today. Francis and J. Francis is going to come home in P5 with Instinct in P6. And that is your race finished, ladies and gentlemen. Such a shame for J. Francis. Such a shame indeed. Lads, I'm sorry, I have to get an email from work there at 9:30. Honest to God, go to fucking bed. Jesus, I don't get people that can do that. Go to bed. Go for a bottle of wine or something. Christ almighty. Anyway, your champion or your race order is as follows: Brewdog, Dan, Shazam, Widget, Instinct, J. Francis, DD Friend, Glue, and Mr. Poems girlfriend / wife. Race director as well, before you forget, obviously Mrs. P, I'm referring to her in case you think I'm just completely dismissing her. So yeah, that's your bits and pieces there for the stewards. Well, to round it off, on the day I found out he became world champion, Brewdog, with a substandard qualifying, shows his class in the main event. Winner in Mexico, winner of the Tier 3 Drivers' Championship, and surely destined for greatness in what should be an enthralling Tier 2 season next year. UFRL continues this Friday for the 100% tier. Make sure you don't miss it. I don't know if I'm going to be racing. Give it a minute. In the chat, anyone in the chat want to add anything before we call it a night here tonight? Don't think it's me watching now, don't mind you. Don't think anyone wants to add anything, so... Okay. Well, that was an interesting evening. For myself, Ziggy, known also as Jamie, thanks very much for watching in what's been a wonderful evening of UFRL action here in F123. A very well made game indeed. To round off on a note, as I always do, Brewdog, the winner on and off the track, wins the race. He won the championship. And I said it once again, and I'll say it a final time. Brewdog looks the real deal. Good night, everyone. Have a good one.